Hello and welcome to my studio. We are about to do a demonstration on 2-point perspective today. I have my drawing board here on my easel. There's a charcoal pad here. It's about 19 by 24. You are going to need rulers to do this activity, at least one ruler. I have several because I have a very large piece of paper. And if you have just a regular old 12-inch ruler, that might not be long enough. So I have what's called a T-square, and it's huge. I might not use the giant one. I don't know if you can see this, but when you're doing angles and measuring, you can use a T-square, and it's big. And that might be a little bit too big for my paper, so I have another one. It's called a T-square, but this looks like an L square. So I have this, and that can fit the whole length of my paper just about. And because this is what, 20, I think it's 20 inches. Actually it's more than 20 inches. I think it's like 24 inches. Okay, so I'm going to use charcoal pencil, or maybe, let me start out with charcoal pencil. So you want to draw a horizon line, whether you're doing 1-point perspective or 2-point perspective. There are certain things you're going to have in both. A horizon line is always going to be there. It's a horizontal line that represents where the sky meets the earth, or where the sky meets the water, if you're doing an ocean scene. So let me get a good charcoal pencil that's going to be dark enough so that you can see what I'm doing. I've got medium here. Let's try soft or medium. Which one do I need? I want to mark this dark enough so you can see. I'll try the soft one. All right, so your horizon line can be in the middle. It can be at the top. It can be at the bottom, wherever you want it. So I'm going to just make mine probably around, and you got to hold your ruler. I guess maybe around, see, that's not going to work because I have to like hold and draw at the same time. So, and make it even. So let's hope that stays. All right, so I'm going to just draw my horizon line going across. Okay. You have sky, earth. That's where Christopher Columbus and them, or the people before him, thought that the world was flat, because it always looks flat as, to us small humans looking out in the distance. All right. So you're going to have, in 2-point perspective, you're going to have 2 points, 2 little dots that don't exist in the real world. And everything is going to connect or converge to those dots. In 1-point perspective, you would have 1. And I've already done a demo for 1-point perspective. So this time I want to do 2-point perspective. So I'm going to have, let's see, a point maybe, let's do all the way to the edge here. And I'm going to make it big enough so that you can see it on the video, I hope. And here. Normally you wouldn't do them that big, but I'm doing it so you can see. These do not exist. When you finish your drawing, you're going to erase those because you don't have lines connected to things to a dot in the real world. All right, so if I want to make a building, let's just say I'm standing on the street and there's a road going this way and then there's a road going this way and I can see the corner of the building. Well, I need to have the corner of the building. So what I'll do is, why don't I take my smaller ruler? I just got a cute little ruler here. Metal rulers are good for this. And I'm sitting off to the side, so I want them to be, they need to be totally perpendicular to the horizon line and parallel to the edges. And what I can do is make sure that it's parallel by measuring it. So why don't I do a 1/2 inch from the side? Give me a little mark here. 1/2 inch from the side, give me a little mark there. All right, that's just a guide. I don't think that's quite perfect, but let's go over a little bit. Right there. All right, so this is where my building corner is going to be. So I'm going to take, and however high you go, that's the height of the building. I might want to use my longer ruler because I think I want a higher line. So why don't a higher building, I'm sorry. How high do I want my building? I don't know. Maybe about there. And however low you go, that's how far it's going to be, like, into the street. Now this is dark. When you do this on paper, you might want to draw a little bit lighter because you're going to have to erase all this. So Is this long enough to fit? Almost, pretty much. So these are all of my lines have to converge to this line. And that's one thing about these things, they're all over the place. So there we go, let's do that. Everything has to touch the lines. Pretend like the building is connected to the point. Pretend like the building is connected to the point. It's like a marionette. And then eventually you're going to erase those. So you want the lines to converge on this side. This is very mathematical drawing, very mathematical artwork. If you want to go into architecture, or if you're good with geometry, this is the thing for you. Let's make sure we get that here. All right, now if you can't see that yet, then now you can start to erase if it helps you. So what you want to do is erase, because you can't see through the building to the horizon. Now this is charcoal, so it's not going to erase perfectly, and that's another reason why you want to draw lightly, because eventually you're going to erase all those lines. Okay? I want you to try to start getting the feel for this building here. All right, let's get rid of my little eraser crumbs there. That's what I call them, eraser crumbs. All right, so that's not perfectly erased. You can use other things like a chamois cloth that's clean. Do I have a piece of clean chamois cloth here? I don't know, let's see. I hope I don't smudge the paper. All right, that's not gonna go. All right, so if you put things in the building, now let's say you need a sidewalk. Let's just say your sidewalk comes about out to here. Your sidewalk needs to converge into the horizon line. Not the horizon line, the points for your 2-point perspective. So this is your sidewalk. All right, now with a sidewalk and windows, all of those windows, anything is going to have to connect or line up to your points on your horizon line, which is why they call it 1-point perspective. This can be one street going this way. This can be one street going that way. So why don't I show you, I don't know what's on this building. Let's just say windows. Now here I'm going to draw very lightly. I'm going to do some windows on this side of the building. So your windows are going to have to, now I'm going to draw really lightly because I need to erase more. So I'm going to line up, these are going to be the tops of my windows. I'm going to draw very lightly. And then let's say these are going to be, I don't know, the bottoms of my windows. Everything has to connect to the vanishing point. That's what I'm trying to say, the vanishing point. All right, this is the edge of the windows on that building. Let's be parallel to the corner. Now, you need to draw the lines of the windows with your ruler so that they're lined up to this. You can't just go in there and draw them any kind of way. They need to be straight up and down. Okay, so I'm just doing an example for you. How big are my windows? I don't know. Let's say that's one window. And then you have a space in between. They all need to be parallel. That's another window. And then let's just say, well, they're going to need to get smaller as you go back. So let me erase that one. What do I do with my eraser? Here we go. All right. You're going to, as you get back into the distance, things need to be maybe a little closer together. So why don't we try maybe about like that. And then I'll just use that one for my other space. And then I'm going here and lightly in here and lightly Now, that's not going to be right because my spaces need to be close together because I'm going further into the distance. So I'm not thinking about that. Let's go back. Let's make those spaces a little bit closer together. And then I know if you're architectural, all your lines might start running together, and that's okay. As long as you remember what needs to be what. I'm trying not to get in your way so you can see. Let's make it a little bit closer. Closer. Okay, that one's a little off because I'm off to the side. Let's get my eraser. That one's a little bit too close, and then that one's a little bit too far away. So I'll tell you what, let me just use a smaller ruler so I can see what I'm doing. And my paper's buckling also. Hold on one second. Let me get in the way for a second. All right, that's a little bit better. Okay, so let me finish some windows over here. So that'll be our last one. All right, now the key to this is erasing what doesn't go. That's where your illusion comes in. This is an optical illusion. So you erase the space in between the lines connected to the windows. You know that the windows aren't connected to a vanishing point in the real world. So erase those. Erase in between the windows. But I use my ruler the whole time. You don't want to freehand this because you'll have your lines. If your lines start being diagonal, you're messing up. All of the vertical lines need to be vertical. Now, what you do is you go back with, let's go back with charcoal. Let's see. Then you go back now. It's not going to be perfect, but you go back and you know how the reflection of the windows is in real life. So these are my windows. And then you can go in there. I'm going to make the building darker around the windows so that you can see that these are windows. I'm just kind of giving you an example here. Total example. And then that way that gets rid of that mess that I made in the middle. All right, so what I can do now is take I'm feeling my chamois. This is a chamois, or what we call a chamois. That's taking too much off. So why don't I get my blending stump? And let's just kind of smooth that out. Let's get some value in there. Remember your horizontal lines your vertical lines need to stay vertical. So when you're doing your definition in there, make sure that you don't compromise your vertical lines. I'm not obviously going to be able to finish this today for this short demo, but I want you to understand how everything is connected to the vanishing points on that horizon line. Just going in here, just giving you an illusion real quick. Everything is connected to the vanishing points. And then you go in and draw the rest. But this part has to be architecturally sound. Now, eventually, that building is gonna cut off because a building is not connected to two dots in the real world. You don't walk down the street and see that the building is connected to two dots that don't even exist in real life. So what you would do is erase all of that eventually. Yeah, you would give it a door, some more windows or whatever. We're just doing what we can in the sake of time that we have right now. I need to pick up some of this and go up here. Okay, so you're getting the idea of what's happening here. You don't want to lose the integrity of that corner either. Anywhere there's a corner, you want to make sure that line is sharp. Because we're going to wrap around to the other side. We're not going to have time to do it today, but in this setting, but you get the point. All right, so where should that building stop? Let's see. I'm looking at my reflection over here. Maybe, I don't know, maybe right around here. Because there could be another street back there. So you need to take your eraser and let's erase. What do I do with my eraser? I can get that. Hold on, y'all. I found my eraser. Here it is. Okay, so you want to erase. That's why you want to draw lightly when you do this, because the building is going to stop at some point. I'm going to leave the vanishing points there because I'm going to draw other stuff. That's like if I drew, I don't know, another street over here, or I don't know, some street lights or whatever. I'm going to leave that there, but eventually you're going to erase whatever's connected to the vanishing point because it doesn't exist in the real world. So you can make some detail on the back of that building. I'm just drawing with my blending stump here just for the sake of time. And show the world that the building does end back there. That's the back of the building. All right, same thing for the sidewalk. Okay, so real quick on the sidewalk, just to throw it in there, your lines on your sidewalk, the sidewalk is going this way and the person is walking this way. So your lines are not going to match up perfectly vertically to the lines on the building. This is a totally different structure. It needs to be correct as far as alignment and proportion. So basically it would be more like this. And then you can go in there and fix that. Okay, so you get the point. And then you go back in and you add your details. And if I need to do that to fix it, then I can do that. And I'm going to stop right here because we need to close out our demo for today. But that's going to get you started on 2-point perspective. You have 2 points and all of your vanishing, you have 2 vanishing points and all of your converging lines or your perspective lines need to touch those points or connect to those points. And then you go in and you add all your details and then you erase what you don't need. Okay, so I want to thank you for joining me today.